it's really important to decide the purpose of corporations. What ought to be the purpose of a corporation? Is it mainly there to serve the government? Is it mainly there to serve the people who supply capital? Is it mainly there to make sure that the maximum amount is given in wages and salaries to the people employed in the corporation? Who should be the major beneficiaries, and what should be the purpose of a corporation in a wider social sense? So both Koreas would need to agree, if their corporations were to operate in each other's territories, what is the purpose of a corporation? Who are the main stakeholders to be? Where are the profits or the surplus? Where are they meant to be distributed to primarily? And also, how much of the surplus should be distributed among employees? These are enormously important decisions and would need some detailed discussions between North and South Korea if they were to come together, or if they were to allow corporates to operate in each other's territories. In particular, also, in addition to the financial side, how much is the duty of a corporation to provide enough time to the employees and its managers and so on to be able to fulfill their social obligations, looking after their elderly relatives, for example, or sick relatives, or contributing to the life of the local community? How much time should the senior and junior people working in a corporation have available to them to be able to work in the community or contribute to the community in that sort of way? So a particular responsibility of the stakeholders, whether that is private individuals or pension funds or banks or shareholders and so on, or whether it's the government itself or some department of government, is to decide who provides capital for corporates to start up and to be able to operate. To start up, you need capital to buy the equipment and the vehicles and other things in order to operate, but also to continue operating, you need operating capital to pay for raw material and to finance stocks of finished goods and so on. So in a capitalist society like South Korea, it's expected the capital comes mainly from individuals or financial institutions. They may be pension funds, banks, insurance companies, and so on. And in a socialist company like North Korea, the capital is expected to come mainly from a government department. And then the distribution of the operating surplus, the amount left over after paying for the costs of production and distribution, either goes to the providers of capital in the form of the shareholders or the government, or it could go more and more to those who work in and for the company in salaries and wages. And in a capitalist society like South Korea, where these decisions are made by the management of companies, sometimes in negotiation with trade unions, whereas in a socialist society like North Korea, these decisions are made in discussions between the management of companies and government departments. So you've got a different pattern of doing things, a different pattern of the way decisions are made. How big a part does the government play in these day-to-day decisions and in the broader decisions of the purpose of a company? And how much are these decisions made without reference to the government? And if North and South Korea were to want to work in each other's territories, these values and decision-making processes would need to be explicit and made clear so that the government of the other Korea are quite clear where decisions are being made and where responsibility lies for the actions and behavior of the corporation. If the two Koreas were to come together, as we are hoping and praying may be the case, it would be important for the two Koreas together to decide what is a fair allocation of the rewards and responsibilities to the different stakeholder groups. So, for example, how much of the surplus or profit should go to the shareholders and how much should go to the workforce? How much should go to the government if it is the supplier of capital, and how much should go to the workforce? So these are important decisions. They affect people's incomes, and they also impact on the state's revenues, and therefore the ability of the state also to provide health and education services or other forms of social expenditure. representatives who are trained in these areas of expertise. They would both come together and they would adjust the legal requirements of companies so that they complied with a shared statement of values by the two Koreas about what they want in their country, how much they want rewards to go to individual shareholders, how much they want to go to the workforce, and how much they want to go to government. So there's plenty of room for discussion, plenty of flexibility there, within which discussions can usefully be held to decide what would be a good model to have if Korea was to come together, or simply if North Korea wants South Korean companies to be able to work in its space, or if South Korea wants North Korea companies to be able to work in its space.